everyone, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. And this one, I'm doing a little bit of a further away view, so hopefully this is better. It will give us more space to put the cards out. Tonight's reading, we're going to be starting with the Starseed Oracle deck. And the theme of this reading is going to be which Starseed message does your Starseed family have for you? There are many different types of Starseeds. There's Arcturian, there's Pleiadian, Sirian, Andromedan, Orion, I believe. So there's many different types of starseeds. A starseed is a being who's incarnated on Earth currently, and they can feel the connection to their stellar origins. So they may have incarnated somewhere else before, may have incarnated as one of the other starseed star races. And that's why the connection is still felt. You may have spent many lifetimes as one of those star races. Doesn't mean that you don't belong here on Earth. It doesn't mean that you haven't had many lifetimes on Earth. It just means that you have some of the retained some of the qualities that those races embody, and that you feel more connected to some of the qualities of those races than you do to humans on Earth. And I've also heard the term Earthseed. So that may mean that all of, well, maybe not all, but the majority of your incarnations have been on Earth rather than in other star systems. Okay, let's get started. I'm just going to do some light shuffling. We're going to pick 3 piles. This one's peeking out. Oh, that one. Spirit, I bless these cards. Oh, and I ask you to help us to determine the message that these 3 piles star families have for them. And I'm going to turn the cards over now. The first one is perspective. Sorry, I'll just try to get a clearer view. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. Okay, so that's the first card, perspective. The second card, oh wow, this is beautiful. Star family. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. I haven't actually seen this card yet. I've been using this deck for a couple weeks now. It's beautiful. Okay, Star Family is number 2. That's actually very poignant, seeing as that's our question. Oh, beautiful. Star Brothers. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Okay, so we have our 3 cards. If you like to pick with crystals, I'm going to add them in now. This is a Selenite pillar crystal. This has, we call this the happy rock around my family, and it's supposed to help with creating negative ions in the air, and it helps negative ions really help to clear negative energy. and help you to feel very good. So that's for pile number 1. Pile number 2 is the orange, beautiful orange calcite. That's pile number 2. And pile number 3 is this big, beautiful piece of Milky quartz. So pick your pile, and you can fast forward using the timestamps if you want to go right to your pile. If you would like to wait while I do the piles, while I add the other cards, you can do that as well. So we're going to be adding a few cards from this I Am Affirmation card deck. I see one poking out there. I'm going to add 2 to each pile. Spirit, please help with this message from their star family, their Starseed family. A message from their Starseed family. Clear, concise, accurate messages. One there. Oh, it's poking out. Oh, okay, that one. Yeah. I like when they just pop out. Okay. Put those ones aside. Okay, I'm going to also add in, I'm going to do 3 from the Enchanted Oracle deck. Spirit, please give us clear, concise, accurate messages for all 3 piles. What does their Starseed family want them to know? Whoa. Okay, that one was furiously trying to get out. Let's get this one here. And we'll take that one. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to take some tarot from this beautiful divine tarot deck, or tarot of the divine. I really like this deck. I like the way it feels. It's new to me. I got it just after I got the Starseed Oracle deck, so I've only been using it for a few weeks. Okay, so we're going to do 6. And yeah, I really like the artwork. The colors are beautiful. It's the same, obviously it follows the same suits and everything as a traditional deck, oracle deck, but the artwork is quite different. It's a different depiction on the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And I really like it. I find it pretty easy to read. Okay, so we've got our piles now. We're going to move on to pile number 1. And I really try just to read the cards with intuition, but there's this beautiful guidebook that was done for the Starseed Oracle deck, and I just want to read a little bit about this card just to give a better understanding of how they, the authors of this deck, see each card. Actually, you know what I forgot? I wanted to add in a couple more oracle cards just to round out the reading. Whoa, you're just flying out. I think that was the right move. Didn't really think about it before, but okay. Sorry for that little diversion. Okay, so we've got perspective. Okay, so I'm going to read it out. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective, shift your point of view, and zoom out, out, out. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe, and the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. And they have at the bottom just a Starseed soul inquiry. How are you being called to change your perspective? And I actually got this card in the reading I did for myself last night. So it was very familiar to me. This is a great card. So your soul, Starseed family, wants you to know, and probably the reason that you chose that card is that perspective is important if we think about it. Like if we continue the way we're going, I mean, we've got war happening right now in the world, and there kind of always is some sort of a conflict. And if we keep going this way, like, where are we going to be in 10 years time, 20 years time? Will we still be here? Will we still be fighting and trying to take advantage of one another? And will it all be about money? And so we really have to, your Starseed family wants you to really zoom out and create a new perspective, a bird's eye view. When you can see things from a bird's eye view, you really have the advantage of knowing that, okay, I need to stop micromanaging things and I need to just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so your two affirmation cards. I am passionate. I am well-rounded. I give my whole heart to everything I do. My skills and capabilities enrich my life and those around me. Okay, so you are obviously somebody who is dedicated to your mission. I get that right away. And you have a lot of different skills, right? So you probably remember a lot of the things that you learned in past lives. You didn't come in completely forgetting. Some of us come into, like, we agree to come into this life with a veil, right? And we agree to forget who we were in past lives, what we learned, and, what we did, who our family members were, that kind of thing. But then little things can come in, right? Like some talents just come through. Some passions just come through, some tendencies and patterns, and even people. We begin to remember, oh, this person seems familiar. I wonder why. Well, probably because, you've been together before in some other kind of relationship. Okay, so that's good. it's important to give as much as you can to something that you're passionate about, and to really put your love into it, to make it a labor of love, because it really shows, especially when you're helping people. Okay, let's get a look at your enchanted map cards. So we have Field of Dreams, we have Heal the Ouch. I'm just gonna overlap these a little since we've already read through those ones. And we have Metamorphosis, and all of these were upright. I know with this deck they actually do give descriptions for these cards, whether they're reversed or upright. In this case, you have them all upright. And what I'm seeing here is that you're a dreamer. You're a big believer in all sorts of different possibilities. Fairy tales may have appealed to you for a lot of your life. You may still believe on some level that, that fairies and mermaids and unicorns and all those mythological creatures, dragons that we learn about, that are in so many movies, that in some dimension they probably exist. Maybe they existed on Earth at some point, but now they've had to, move into a different vibrational dimension, because 3D is, they're way higher than 3D. So that's probably why they're not here anymore. So I get the sense that you've been conceptualizing a lot of what you want. You've been really trying to imagine and dream up, the life that you really want to live, and the way you want the planet to be, the way you want humanity to evolve, to ascend. But it may be difficult for you to actually put it into practice, to make those dreams come into reality, to come to fruition. A lot of it's great to plan things out in your head, but if you don't take any action, then it may be difficult to actually see those manifest into your life. And with the Heal the Ouch, obviously there is some work to do for you emotionally. There may be some trauma that you have from childhood. It could have been more recent, but healing yourself is your Starseed family wants you to know that is your job right now, is to make sure that what you do is focus on healing, focus on feeling better, focus on taking good care of yourself, focus on your relationship with yourself. If you're working yourself ragged, like if you're really passionate about yourself, you have very well-rounded skills, you're probably very good at your job, you may put a little too much work into your job, or you may do too much for others and not consider your own well-being. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. There's lots of different things. And if you're having physical illness or disease, you need to consider what areas of my mental, emotional, spiritual life are lacking. Because when we don't take care of those areas of our being, then our body is the one that shows the signs. Your body is actually the indicator when things are, like when you're really not paying attention to how you're feeling, your body starts to show signs outwardly to kind of get your attention. Like, hello, you're ignoring me. I'm very important, and you're not caring for me the way that you promised you would, or the way that I need you to. So it's all very interwoven. Our mental, physical, emotional, spiritual bodies, they all need to be in alignment. And Metamorphosis shows me that you're going to figure this out. You're going to find ways to heal yourself. One of the ways we can go back and heal trauma is to go back in our minds to the inner child, to picture yourself at the age when the trauma was it occurred, as much as you can remember, and go back and have a conversation, a loving conversation with that part of yourself that really just wanted somebody to tell them everything's going to be okay. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. You know, it's not your fault. I love you. I'm here for you. What can I do to help? And that can really help to bridge that gap between what you needed and what you got. Because the adults in your life, they just may not have been able to give you the loving, caring attention and compassion that you needed, because they probably have trauma as well. And it hurt people, and hurt people can't help hurt people heal. If you think about it, like, if they didn't know how to heal themselves, then how are they going to help you, right? I know this myself from having children. It's difficult to deal with their emotions, and you realize, oh my goodness, I have a lot of emotions I haven't dealt with. Okay, we're going to get to the last two Starseed cards. So we have, oh, my cat's coming. Hey, there's candles there. No, thank you. Okay, so we've got the 7 Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. Cool. Very cool card. And then we have Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Beautiful. Okay. So you are obviously very well taken care of. You have the skills, right? You're very well rounded. You have the skills, but you also have a team. Don't forget that your Starseed family is looking out for you. You have guides, you have source, you have everything that you need. You have so many tools in your tool belt, and even something like divination tools is another tool in your tool belt. If you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling like you don't know, obviously the best thing to do is to go within, sit and meditate. It's not easy to do. I even struggle with it myself. So I just want you to know that you can ask for help. And one of the things that I found very helpful when something is happening in my life and it's just too much for me to handle, I give it to Source or God or the universe, whatever you label the higher power, doesn't really matter. Spirit, God, Allah, whatever you want to call that infinite being. But just, I surrender this to God. I surrender this to Source. It could be whatever you want it to, whatever you're struggling with. And that has really helped to just to lighten the burden. And God does come into your life if you're allowing of that help. Birthing creations, yeah. So this is also speaking about the being able to take the imagination and the creation in your mind and actually birth it into reality, into existence, bring it to fruition. Tapestry of life. So learn to work with the energies and feel the energies and expression. Just really don't be afraid to be yourself and to actually like talk about the things that you think and feel, and really exercise that throat chakra, because being able to speak up for yourself, being able to set boundaries is really important, especially if you have trauma. You need to have that voice. You need to find that voice, and it's not always easy. But it says you'll survive. You're strong. You've got that inner connection with Source inside of you, always there, never broken, ever. And new solutions and beginnings. This is good because, you know, we're always looking outside. Things are wrong outside. Where's the solution to this problem outside? Where's the solution to that problem? outside, but we're never looking inward, because this is really where our power comes from. You know, I think sometimes of illness, right? Especially like a contagious illness. And we're always looking for the solution outside. But if we actually look and say, okay, I have this now, what can I do to feel better? Like, what things can I do? Instead of sending all your energy out blaming, we can just focus on the solutions that we can generate ourselves. Okay, so let's do the tarot. We have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so that's good. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Emperor. That one was reversed, so I'll put it reversed. I haven't been doing that to date, but I do think that it's helpful sometimes to see how they fall. Three of Wands. I like that one. We've got the Eight of Cups. And I'm just going to shift these over a little bit so we have enough space for them. And last but not least, we have Strength reversed. All right, let's have a look here. I think I'm just going to come in a little closer because I can. Yeah, I think that's going to be easier to see. I never really thought of zooming in and out. That's a good idea. Okay, so we have something. Okay, so we've got 1 cup, 2 cup. We've got 1 wand, 2 wand. We've got the Emperor, and we've got Strength. Okay, so I see a little bit of a pattern here. With 7 of Cups, we've got all sorts of good things, right? But you almost look overwhelmed. Like, you can't necessarily choose. Like, okay, you know, and this may be the, you know, you're well-rounded, but you're maybe multitasking, like you're doing too many things, and you need to just really hone in on what is, like, what are you really passionate about? What are you passionate about? What's the one thing that lights you up? And that is what you need to focus on, because what happens, I'm looking here at this card, I had this card recently, and this really like speaks out now, is that you see the person is looking away, right? Because sometimes when you have too much and you're like, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed, and then you just turn your back on everything and you do nothing and you don't take action at all. You just procrastinate, or you just walk away altogether, and just give up. So it's going to be important for you to really figure out, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it, like, if you want to help people, figure out what you can do that's going to help people. I mean, you need to make a living if it's something you want to do as a job, that's going to help people. You need to kind of figure out, like, you know, well, maybe I need to have do it as a side hustle. Like, let's say it's YouTube, do it as a side hustle, but put as much effort as you can into it. It's going to be hard for a while, but if you put in that effort, and this one kind of speaks like uphill climb, like, it's not going to be easy. It may be an uphill kind of battle to get there, but, you know, in the end, there will be happiness and harmony, because you're going to be doing what you love, and you're going to be helping people, and so it's win-win, really. And you may be kind of lacking that mentor in your life, with the Emperor reversed. The Emperor is really like kind of like a fatherly figure, somebody who's very fair and but not stern, but like firm, and like So maybe you're kind of lacking boundaries. So it may be important to put in some boundaries, maybe for yourself. Like if you're working too many hours and you're not getting enough sleep, well, that can, that can play into the illness and feeling like you're never getting, you're never getting anywhere. So you need to set some really clear boundaries with how you're going to make this entrepreneurial thing work. And you need to kind of plan it out and have a game plan so that it gets you what you want in the end. But it's also important to set your intentions. Strength reversed. For this, I really kind of feel like maybe you're not confident in your power. You haven't yet found your sense of strength and in yourself. You don't realize how powerful you are. You don't realize the influence that you have, or that that your unique voice is needed in this world, and that you can help, and that you do have something unique to contribute. So it's going to be important for you to find that inner strength and to really let it shine through. Okay, I'm just going to get a couple more tarot. I'm going to use my Rider-Waite deck, just get a few more, just to get one last kind of message from your Starseed family. The message from your Starseed family. We have the Five of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles reversed, and the Two of Wands. All right, let's see what's coming through on this one. I get the sense that you have a bit of a lack mentality when it comes to your finances. Like perhaps you didn't grow up with money. Your parents may have struggled to pay the bills. Or it could be that, you did grow up with a lot of money, but your parents didn't, they cut you off at a certain point and kind of said, well, you're on your own. And now it's kind of hard because they didn't really teach you how to manage your finances. But this is something that you can work on. This is something that you can learn. You can start investing. There's lots of different, you just need to do a bit of research, really. Like you have to put in the work, right? If you want to reap the rewards, you need to know what you're doing. So I highly recommend you take an active role in your finances, but also to work on your abundance mentality, that there is enough for everybody. There's more than enough money. You can have enough, but it's also about being grateful, right? Like this one really says like that you're just holding on too much. Like maybe you need to work on generosity and being able to share. It could be the opposite. I mean, it's reversed. So maybe you're giving away too much and you're not actually keeping, like maybe you're just not being very smart with how you're spending your money. Maybe you're just being a little bit frivolous. Could be that. And Two of Wands. I get the sense with this one that a perspective change may need to happen. We've got some beautiful roses and lilies, a sign of peace and love. So yeah, okay. And he's holding the world. So there needs to be a balance between, like, you can be a spiritual person, but it's not wrong to, have money, because money is what we need to function in this world. And it's not it's not, the problem is not having money, it's how you see the money that you have and what you or you know, you don't want to step over everybody and take advantage of people to get money. That's a problem. When money is more important than people, that's a problem. But it's the intention behind it. So the more money you have, the more people you can help, you know, and you want to be able to, you know, be able to help your kids with college or buying their first car, or you want to be able to take your mom or dad on a trip or help them with bills if they need help. So there's lots that can be done with money. So, you know, you just need to kind of maybe change your perspective on what wealth could be for you. And that's going to be your reading, pile number 1. I hope that this was good for you and that it was an accurate and helpful message. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe so you don't miss another video when I post. And if you want to turn on the notifications, that will let you know when my videos are posted. Pile number 1, thank you. Hello, pile number 2. So you chose this beautiful Star Family card. And this is exactly what this reading, this whole pick a card reading is about. Is what message does your star family have for you? So this card is very poignant. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. So let's get your cards out here. Oh, actually, one thing I'm doing is I'm reading just from the book for the first card, just so you can get an idea of the message that these cards come with. There's a lot of really good messages. Okay, Star Family. I'm just going to read it. You may not be able to see it, but you're part of a team of souls. Call in support. At some stage, we were each a part of a soul cluster, a gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience themselves individually. Those who are part of your soul cluster are part of your star family. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together. Your souls were once actually one. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light and to cross paths with each other. You know that someone is part of your star family when you feel like you know and remember them from the moment you meet. They feel instantly familiar and comfortable. Time both passes quickly and stretches when you're with them. You feel more yourself with them than with anyone else. It can sometimes feel like looking in the mirror, because in a way you are. Often you'll go out of your way to help those in your star family, instinctively knowing it's part of your path. When a star family member dies, you feel it very deeply, regardless of how long you knew them. A certain soul mourning or soul breaking occurs. Think about the people in your life. Who do you feel is part of your star family? If this card comes up in a spread, it's likely that you've met someone who is part of your star family, or you're about to. Starseed Soul Inquiry. Who do you think is from the same star family as you? How can you call upon them for support? Okay, that is awesome. I love that. So we're going to start with your I am affirmation cards. So the first one is, I am elevated. My awareness is always expanding as I rise to my highest good. I am committed. I understand the value of hard work and pursue my goals relentlessly. Okay, well, you are a very high vibrational being, obviously. I'll start with that. I'm just going to take off this bracelet because it's going to continue making lots of noise, and that's probably going to be annoying. Yeah, so you're very aware. You've probably been awake for a while. You're committed to your goal of being a light warrior, light worker, earth angel. You've made the connection with Starseed, probably because you clicked on this video. So you've done some soul searching. You're on a spiritual path. And you've got lots of goals that you're trying to reach for, but I get the sense that maybe you're at a crossroads, or you're not sure what your next move should be. So I get the sense that maybe the place where you're at might be, the next step might be to develop your psychic gifts. I had an interesting reading the other day, and it talked about the Akashic Records, and my reading said that I had been a scientist. I had been a researcher in previous lives, maybe in secret societies, and that I had psychic gifts but didn't continue to develop them, and got lazy, and I lost them when I came back in another life. And I was like, wow, it's interesting to think of, like, maybe it's something like anything. If you don't practice it, or if you don't work at it, like your muscles, if you don't work your muscles, eventually they kind of turn to mush, and they don't really, eventually they kind of degrade, and they cease to be really helpful to you. Can actually be a detriment. So I get the sense that something you should be working on is your imagination, your psychic abilities, figuring out, like, if you're an empath, you can feel other people's emotions. You may need to learn to put up boundaries, energetic boundaries, to protect yourself, because otherwise you're going to just have to stay away from people, and that's not necessarily feasible. And not to mention, it's lonely. So maybe you haven't realized yet that this is one of your powers, but it can be managed. You just have to figure out how to imagine a light shield around you, from head to toe. And I've been struggling with this lately, about being able to make it the entire way through the imagination of it, and I'm not sure why, but that's something you could take a look at. And there may be some meditations that you could do where you go through that sequence, and they guide you through. Sometimes that's easier. Okay, let's do your Enchanted map cards. The first one is follow the leader. And this one was reversed, so I'm going to put it reversed. That's the card there. It's got lots of beautiful birds, and it's got a beautiful fairy on there. And there's a tree with a clock on it. Rock bottom. Oh dear. Rock bottom reversed. So that's just like kind of a... There's two paths. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to move these over a little bit. And I will zoom in when we get to the tarot. And then you have Magic Stream. And this one was upright. We've got some sort of a heron and a little tree on the top of this I don't know if it's a mountain. Kind of looks like a waterfall a little bit. There's some plants. Okay. Follow the leader. So maybe you're used to having somebody else calling the shots. Maybe you're not so comfortable with being in charge of things. Or on the opposite, you might struggle with having somebody else call the shots. You like to be in charge. You might be a bit of a micromanager, like to be in control and know what's coming and not be caught off guard, no uncertainty. And that is all very understandable, but I get this sense you're being called to either, if it's the case that you're not really stepping up to the plate in sense of being a leader and taking charge, you're being called to work on that, to meditate on that, to just find ways where you can use your voice and speak up for yourself and be able to say no. And it's so hard because a lot of us are people pleasers, especially light workers, and we want to help people, but sometimes that it kind of gets muddy a little bit because we start doing things out of obligation or out of not wanting to feel guilty, um, and then we end up kind of compromising our own happiness in the meantime. If you're somebody who likes to be in charge and is really having trouble, like, like you're finding your outside world is a little bit chaotic, or you have somebody that's trying to control you, maybe take a look at how you might be trying to control too much, or if you're somebody like me who gets frustrated when things don't go the way you want them to go, or people don't do what you want them to do. It is so normal. It is so, you know, especially for star seeds. There may be star seeds that come from societies where, every where people are clairvoyant and psychic, and everybody just understands each other better, and maybe we've worked out all these kind of inner quirks and traumas and emotional instability. I don't know what a better word is for it, but so it may be frustrating being in this world with people who may not be as aware of energy and of um, that kind of, you know, they may not be very awake. But that doesn't mean they're not smart people. It doesn't mean that they're not worthy of love and compassion. It just means that, you might be a little bit frustrated, and that's something to work on. Rock bottom, it tells me that maybe you're coming to a place where something needs to be released, let go. One thing that you can do is really start to verbally and, either out loud or in your head, start to release the things that are unhelpful. Sometimes when I'm doing exercise, like if I'm stretching, I will say to myself, I release any stored anger in my hip joints. I release any sadness, jealousy, guilt, shame, anything that doesn't serve my highest good. I release it from my body. You can also do this when you're breathing in. Breathe in love and light from the universe, and breathe out anything that doesn't serve my highest well-being. That's one way to kind of release things that are really bogging you down and holding you back from feeling your best. Rock bottom could be anything really. Like if you've any pattern that you've been doing and it's not working, and it's really really bad for you. It doesn't have to be a substance. It could be anything you use to escape reality, really. Could be video games, could be gambling, could be cheating, could be lying, Could be alcohol, could be drugs, could be anything. Anything that you do to escape reality, anything that you do to try to make yourself better than somebody else, anything that you do that's ego. So it looks like something's coming into your life that it's really going to shake things up. I hope it's not like losing somebody out of your life. I mean, it could be a relationship that's not working, and that could be a positive change, but whatever it is, just be ready and be willing to, as much as you can, to let that go, because it will be the key to entering into a new realm, a new vibration for yourself, a new magic stream of consciousness. And that's where you're really going to be able to help people. Just going to zoom in now a little bit more. Yeah, that's where you're really going to be able to help people, is from your magic self, right? So, okay. I zoomed in because I want you to be able to see the cards a little bit better. Okay. We're going to do 2 more Starseed cards, Starseed Oracle cards. We've got baby steps. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Oh, so good. Okay. And the other one. Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song. Frequency of sound. Deep diving. Okay. Wow. Those are beautiful. I love the colors in these. They look good together. Wow. Well, it looks like, yeah, you are on the precipice of a massive journey, but it's saying you don't have to rush into it. You've got time. Like, don't panic. Don't think that like it's your last chance to like you're in some sort of a rush. Sometimes I've heard starseeds can feel that way about their mission. It's like, oh my god, like it's just a sense of urgency, but just slow down, take a breath. It's going to be okay. It's saying action. It's saying take action. Like, we don't want to just be thinking about it. We want to be making like steps in that direction, but they can be small steps. They don't have to be big, because sometimes when you take too big of a bite, like it's too much for you to chew and you can really choke, right? Like, or if you think about it, like, sometimes you can get overwhelmed if you take too much at once and get overwhelmed, and then you just want to abandon mission, right? So, but following your intuition, yes, this is something that takes practice and time, and you really just have to take the leap, like doing these readings from a place of intuition, not reading the books anymore, other than a little bit here and there. Like, obviously I do look at the books to try to get a feel for the different decks, but I've really challenged myself to actually like just channel it, just channel whatever's coming through, and this is how I'm going to be able to help people and myself as well if I'm doing a reading for myself. So you just really have to trust that there is that connection that we have with a higher power, but it's not outside of us, it's within us. We are part of that. It's like a drop of the ocean, like what they said, like we broke off from these soul clusters to experience ourselves. So God is like this big, like, let's say that God is like one big piece, and then let's say it breaks off into like, I don't know, like obviously it's infinite, but like let's say God breaks off into two, to have 2 different experiences, and then those pieces break off into it's like cell division. If you think of cell division, it's like obviously like it's within us, like, and we're observing this and we don't think this has anything to do with God. Come on. Like, so it's breaking off and it's breaking off and it's breaking off and it's breaking off. So obviously you have more of a connection to your cluster, and you're like, okay, I'm going to break off like just me this time. I'm going to break off from the group, and I'm going to go and experience myself, and you guys go and do your thing. And then that's why you have this kind of connection, because you are a part of them, but you're still also a part of that bigger, like that bigger full God. And it never leaves you. God is always within you. So if you have a connection to whales, dolphins, that kind of thing, they are some amazing creatures. They have their own language, and they are some of the biggest, I think they're the biggest mammals in the world. And you have a unique signature just like they do. And it's important to have faith, like have faith in your intuition that it's actually guiding you in the right direction, which can be scary. It's scary to let go and just, like, to be on a roller coaster and just like not have control over what's going on. It's the same with your life. It's like just to, it can be very scary to just let go and let God, as the saying goes. But diving deep, frequency of sound, like working on your vibration by going inward. And it's so hard. It's easy for me to say this. In practice, not easy. Not easy to sit in meditation, not easy to develop psychic skills, not easy to do the inner work, but very rewarding if you're willing to get into the nitty gritty, to heal your darkness, to shed light on your darkness, to heal your wounds, to release what doesn't serve you anymore. It really isn't easy, but it is very worth it. All right, let's get into your tarot. Four of Swords. Haha. Got the Page of Cups reversed. Ten of Cups reversed. I'll probably shift these over a little bit. The Sun upright. Knight of Coins. Upright. And Justice reversed. All right, so let's see here. What have we got? Okay. Well, this card, I've seen this card recently, and this card really speaks to how we are responsible for our own bondage. I know this can be hard sometimes because, we see situations and we think they're a victim and that's the bad person and that's the good person, and or we feel that way, like, oh, I'm the victim and these bad people are being, unfair to me. But everything is about perspective, right? Everything is about perspective. And if we don't take responsibility for how we get to a certain place, we just really don't have control, right? But if we take back our power and realize, well, maybe the story I told myself about that is not exactly true, or maybe the way I'm seeing this is not helping me to, empower myself, then, we have the knives to cut off our own bondage, right? We are the ones that are in power. We take back that power. We can really see freedom, and we can really show others, like, hey, I've done this. You can do this too. You can be free. You can be healthy. You can be happy. We can have this beautiful, peaceful world. But it's just a matter of perspective. And then we've got the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups upside down. upside down reversed. I'll turn them this way so it's easier to see. So these are beautiful cards. Just meditating on this for a moment, see what comes through. Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Not really getting like anything major coming through. Let me just look at the other cards and see what. I'm going to go back to the first one. Part of a team of souls, call and support. I'm going to consult the book just to get an idea, because I'm really usually don't find that I'm at a loss for what's going on, but yeah, this time I'm really kind of nothing's coming through. Okay, let's see. So this one, Page of Cups, is connected to his emotions and expresses himself wholly and with youthful purity. In this card, one of the 7 young moon siblings plays with Tuer Shen, the Chinese god of same-sex relationships, who ties the red thread of fate that connects lovers. Reversed is bad news, jealousy, obsession, childhood problems, immaturity. Okay, I see. So this does kind of play into the rock bottom and doing the healing work. Definitely see that. And this one is, I get the sense that you really want to have that kind of beautiful family unit that's like, you know, kind of been touted as the be all end all for human beings. You know, you go to school, you get an education, you get a degree, you get a job, you meet somebody, fall in love, get married, have kids, buy a house, or, you know, and just follow that sort of path. And you're not sure, like, do I want to, like, do I trust myself to have that? Oh, kitty. There we go. Do I trust myself? Is that what I really want? Like, you're really not sure, I get the sense. And, you know, we've got the life on land or the life at sea. Like, maybe adventure is more your thing. You're really not sure. And it's not an easy decision, because having kids is not an easy journey. It's not, definitely not for the faint of heart. And once you have them, you cannot give them back. So yeah, it's definitely a crossroads, right? Something for you to consider carefully before making that leap. I get the sense that you're going to have a journey for a while that just involves you discovering yourself, discovering things about you. It may be alone. I'm curious to see how this card is described in this deck. Success, birth, confidence after passing through difficult times. Okay, yeah, for sure. And that one was not reversed. So yeah, joy, luck, vitality, accomplishment. So yeah, you're going to come out of these tumultuous times, you know, really feeling strong and really feeling success and feeling like you can do, like getting that sense of inner strength, that you can do hard things, that you can accomplish goals. And so it's important to conceptualize them and then take action, and then you'll see the fruits of your labor. And with the Knight of Coins, then that's definitely signifying something, you know, good abundance coming into your life. Maybe maybe you need some, like maybe you're going to start a business, maybe you're going to start some sort of entrepreneurial venture. So you'll definitely see success coming. You know, he's got his bow and arrows, so you may, you know, have to slay a few dragons in the meantime, but in the end you will be successful. And with Justice reversed, I'm not as familiar with the reversal of the cards, so I'll just see what it says here. Justice is power wielded with both intelligence and impartiality. It is making decisions with all of the facts and accepting the consequences of any choice made. It is punishment of the corrupt and promotion of the deserving. But reversed, bias, false accusations, intolerance, abuse, and dishonesty. We are in times where nothing is really what it seems, and this is where using your intuition is really going to be important, because what can you really trust if you can't trust yourself, right? If you can't trust God and yourself, you can't trust anything, right? So I would really focus on going within. When you see something, how does it feel? Does it feel true to you? You know, use your senses, like this is a good way to develop your intuitive powers and your psychic gifts, is to really just feel into something. Like if it doesn't feel right, usually that's like your first instinct is usually the right one. And I think I do this for all of, when I watch these read a card or pick a card readings, whichever one my eye gravitates to the most, that's the one, and I go to it, and it's almost always great advice. I mean, I don't know if I would have picked a different one. Like, if I could have done it another, like if it could have been done another way, it would have, right? I would have picked another one, but I didn't. Okay, so we're just going to put in a few more. We'll just get a little bit more clarity here. Oh. Oh. Okay, we have King of Swords. We have another sword. We've had a few swords here. We have the Eight of Wands. No, Seven of Wands. And we have the Lovers reversed. I mean, to me, it looks like you're fighting something, and it's holding you back from really having close connections with people. You may be a little bit confrontational. You may be really like kind of living in your ego, where somebody says something, and if it's not, you know, you get kind of upset that it's not along the lines of your beliefs, or you say something and somebody challenges it and you get upset. I definitely have struggled with this lately. But yeah, it can really hold you back from having really close, meaningful relationships with people. So that's definitely something that your Starseed family wants you to know and work on. All right, pile number 2, thank you so much for joining me. If you really like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Share it if you think somebody might like it, and please subscribe if you want to continue to get notifications. You can click the bell button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Aw, cute little kitties over there. My cute little babies. Hi, pile number 3. Thank you for joining me. And your card for this, what does my Starseed family want me to know, is Star Brothers, Horus Energy, Protection, Loyalty, Safety, Trust. That's a great card. Put that there. And I'm going to read, as I have done for the other piles, just a little bit from this Starseed book about the card, just to give you a little bit of in-depth, so we know what Horus energy is, because that's something that many of us might not know about. I've read this card a few times. You're not going to be able to see it, but I'll read it out for you. You're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now, for those in your life and from the benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have been mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone, that it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open, that the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe, even if you're going through a difficult time. They want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you can ever imagine, both in this world and beyond. To call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's ups and downs and learn to open your heart, especially when it wants to harden. How can you Starseed Soul Inquiry? How can you open yourself up to receiving more support? Good question. Absolutely. So yeah, this one is really good. So it's really trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort you, or assure you. That's the word. Assure you that regardless of the fear that you may have been programmed with to think that this world is dangerous and you're not safe, the truth is, when you really start to believe that you're safe, and when you start to see the world, you start to kind of develop your inner world, you really start to see a reflection of that in your outer world. I remember one of the things, like driving for me used to be like, I used to be really aggressive driver when I first started driving, and I would tailgate people and really like just drive like a complete asshole. And I used to get really stressed in the car and like worry about like getting there on time and like speeding and like cutting in and out of lanes. And like then I just started like, I don't know, I came to a place where I just I watched this video by Matt Kahn, and he talked about blessing people. And I had been doing a lot of inner work, and so I'd listen to a podcast and I bless everyone I saw, and my drives just became so peaceful, and like nobody ever cut me off. I was just patient. I would wait at lights when I needed to wait at lights, and just like be grateful for the moment and try to pay attention to what's going on around me and just be really present. And like it made so much of a difference. And sometimes I hear people talk about like all the things that happen to them that they don't want, like people coming too close in the grocery store. And that's just not my experience. Like I just don't have that experience. But I think it's a matter of perspective, because 5 years ago I probably would have said the same thing. So when you do the inner work, you start to really see the outer results, but you have to do the work first. It's not change everything on the outside and you're all good inside. If everything is chaos outside of you, there's some work that needs to be done collectively. It's not just one person, but you're going to start to see like things shift. The puzzle pieces will shift for you when you do the work. So if you're in a place in the world where there's a lot of chaos and you do the work, you're likely going to be moved to a different place that more closely matches your vibration, right? And as the people there do the work, eventually the place, and those people things will improve on the outside. But we all have to do the work. That's the thing. It's like one of us can't just do the work. That one person's gonna see a better result outside, but everybody needs to do the work for us to see the planet really change, right, as a whole. Okay, let's get into your I am affirmation cards, and we'll see what your Starseed family wants you to know. Pile number 3. I am fearless. I am worthy. I dive into life with boldness and freedom. I know my excellence and I settle for nothing less. Well, pile number 3. I can see that you are a strong person, that you are bold, and that you are not afraid to go for what you want. You do feel your worth. You do have that sense of self-worth. And it's funny how you got the I am fearless card, but this talks about, about being kind of afraid, and that you need to trust that you are safe, and that your guides have got you. So maybe they're showing you this because you are living in a place of fear, and they just want you to know, like, if you believe this, if you repeat this to yourself, if you show yourself that you are strong and that you are powerful, you don't have to be afraid anymore. So it could be that, like, sometimes these cards come up because we're already embodying these qualities, and sometimes they come up because they're qualities that we want to embody. So it could be that. Or maybe you think you have no fears, but you're avoiding them. I think sometimes this is me. Sometimes I think I have no fears. I'm not afraid of the typical things that people worry about. And I've worked on those, obviously, but it doesn't mean I don't have any fears, like deep-seated fears. Like we all have something that we're like, if that happened, I would be like right out of there. So maybe it's just a matter of working on it. Okay. We're going to do your Enchanted map oracle cards. So we have the Unexpected Visitors reversed, Bone Collector upright. I'm not sure what, I guess those are all bones hanging from the trees. There's a clock too, and a rabbit. Oh, there's another rabbit. I feel like there's a lot of rabbits in these cards. What does a rabbit symbolize? That would be good to know. And we've got One Ring Circus reversed. The beautiful girl on top of an elephant statue on top of a big rock at night. Okay, what do we think about this? Unexpected visitors. So you may have something coming into your life soon that you are not ready for and that you may not want. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be, something at work, could be a new job, it could be a child. Maybe you might be pregnant and maybe not something in the plan. A new baby coming. Could be a new relationship. So something to be ready for. But I get the sense that it's something that you might be afraid of at first, something that you may be very weary of. But I get the sense with the card that follows, that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a good change for you. But you just have to trust and allow for that good change to come through. Sometimes it's difficult because we don't have the bigger picture. Like, we don't have the bird's eye view that Source has. Source can see everything that's happening and can see like 10 steps ahead, 100 steps ahead. Like, oh my God, like if you were a Source, you'd be like, oh my God, like, why are you freaking out? It's gonna be so great. But you're like, I don't see that far ahead yet. So you're just kind of in the dark, trusting that everything's going to be okay. And that can be scary for a lot of us, is fear of the unknown, fear of what could be, what could go wrong. We always think, we have a negativity bias as humans. We think, what could go wrong? What's the worst case scenario? What is the probability of this happening? And as we've seen, in the last couple of years, when we really let our fears run rampant, we make weird decisions. We do things that don't really make sense and that we wouldn't normally do because we're trying to prevent, I don't know, we're trying to prevent bad outcomes, obviously. We're trying to prevent things from going wrong, but at the same time, we're causing more problems. It's like whack-a-mole. It's like you're trying to hit one and another one pops up, and it's like the more you try to control the problems, the more problems pop up. So I get the sense you just need to relax and just trust and allow, as hard as that is, whatever you need to do to kind of meditate on that. I think everything is going to be okay. One Ring Circus. But okay, I'm getting the sense that like you think you have to do it all alone, that you're here, like it said in the first card, like you don't trust because of maybe people have broke your trust in other lifetimes or even in this lifetime, and you're just kind of like, you know what, I don't need this headache of people, doing the wrong thing, not actually helping. So I'm just going to do it all myself. If you want it done right, do it yourself kind of mentality. But if I'm going to zoom in, if you're always doing everything yourself, like you're missing out on a lot of the beautiful connections. You're missing out on, how, not everyone's good at everything, but everyone's good at something. Well, if something's not in your wheelhouse and you're struggling with it, there's always going to be somebody who's really good at that, who could really help, So if you're building a house, you're not going to do the whole thing. Like, you're not going to be good at plumbing and electrical and tiling and painting. Like, everybody's going to have a strength, right? So you want to hire the people that are the best at those things, and that way you're going to get the most beautiful house. And so yeah, I get the sense that you need to kind of just ask for help when you need it, accept help when it's offered if if you actually want that help, like if it's going to be helpful for you. Don't be afraid to say no if it's not helpful, like out of, a sense of like, oh, I feel bad saying no because they're being very generous. Like, yeah, you have to be authentic. You have to say no if it's not actually something that you want. But if you do need the help, don't be afraid to say no, or don't be afraid to say yes. That's what I meant. Yeah, so there's something else I was thinking of saying, but something else that was coming through. With this one, I'm also getting the sense that you really need to like trust your guides, like ask your guides, like even if like a person hasn't come through as help, like just say to your guides, I really need help with this, or I release this to you, this problem to you to solve, help me out. Don't be afraid to really like use the help, the, invisible, benevolent, divine, energetic help that's out there. It's not something that we're really taught, most of us, to rely on, but the more you can, I think the more you'll get positive outcomes. Your last two Starseed Oracle cards. Ooh, beautiful. Jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. I recently watched a video about Andromedan starseeds, and actually it was like 10 signs you're an Andromedan starseed, and I always thought I was Syrian starseed just because I read through a Syrian, the same kind of thing, I guess, and I was like, oh, that sounds like me. And then I watched this Andromedan one, and I was like, oh my god, like I think I'm an Andromedan starseed. So that's kind of funny that that comes up, but yeah, adventure, say yes to change. But I really would like to just learn more about all of the different star races so I can better understand them. The Courage Peony. Oh, I haven't seen this one yet. Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. Wow. So you're going to be coming like front and center with something very soon. With these two cards, oh my god, pile number 3, like you are going to stir stuff up. You are going to be big, like your name is going to be known. You might write a book. You might start a podcast or a show and just really like speak your truth and help a lot of people. This is amazing. I kind of want to see what they say about the Andromedan energy in the book, just because I'm still new to it. So Andromeda is a spiral galaxy. Oh my god, that's a beautiful design. The closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. Oh my god, that's one of the reasons I was like, yes, that's me, because like I'm all about freedom. And just letting everybody just live their life, and like let's just obviously take care of each other, but like let's be able to make our own decisions. Very adaptable. They have a strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow. This is important. To find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right on in. There you go. Something big, 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 big is coming for you. And courage, fearless. You are worthy of this. Multifaceted, unique nature. There's nobody just like you. You're a unique soul. We all are. Peony is a beautiful flower. It's one of my very favorites. And pile number 3, you have something very important to do. You have a mission, and I want you to, your Starseed family and I both want you to really work on figuring out what that is and just diving into it. I mean, obviously, do some consideration if it's something that you're going to have to invest in, but I think everything is going to be really exciting for you in the next month or two. Okay, for your tarot, we have Queen of Cups. And that one was reversed. Five of Swords. Upright. Knight of Cups. Reversed. Page of Wands. Upright. I'm going to shift over. Yeah. Five of Wands. Upright. Queen of Swords. Love that card. Upright. Okay. Okay, so we've got Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups. We've got Five of Swords, Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, Five of Wands. Okay. 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh my gosh. 2, 2, 2, 2. Didn't even. So that is, we just passed the 2, 2, 2 portal last month. But we're still in the year 2022. So this energy is still with us. Queen of Cups. She is beautiful. And she is powerful. Look at her. And that is you. You are a powerful spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and you are here to make waves. It's going to be hard because you're going to have to leave some parts of your life that you knew behind. In a way, like you're going to have to kind of change your course a little bit. And it may mean some people that you used to really connect with, you're not really connecting so much with them anymore. Maybe a relationship that's leaving your life. Let's see what it says. I'm just curious about the Queen reversed. I'm still kind of new to the reversed cards. And I just want to get an accurate. Queen of Cups represents the surface of the subconscious. The goddess Yamoya connects those on land to the depths of the spiritual plane. She is mysterious, but also a kind and caring mother. Reverse is immaturity, selfishness, smothering, sulking, and spite. Okay, so this is something that you are going to have. This kind of makes sense why this one, why you're upset here, why there's an upset coming, because you're going to need to, if you want to fulfill your soul journey and your soul mission of service to others, you're going to have to be able to balance your needs with the needs of others, with the needs of your mission. And it may require some sacrifice. It could be your time, it could be money, it could be certain habits that you need to let go of. Yeah, so let's get an idea of the Knight of Cups. I get this, usually when I read this one, I get the sense that you're setting off on a journey, that you've got kind of everything you need and you're setting off in search of, you know, the next sort of mission. But I'm just gonna check for the reversed. The Knight of Cups is a messenger. Halibu is kind and gentle while also willing to take a stand for what he believes in. Halibu provides for his village, and after befriending a dragon, he willingly sacrifices himself to save everyone he loves. Reversed is heartbreak, infidelity, lack of diplomacy, moodiness, and pettiness. So yeah, you're coming up against some challenges for sure on this journey. This is going to be inner work for sure. Could be a dark night of the soul coming for you if you haven't already been through that. I mean, I don't think there's just one dark night of the soul in your life, but there's usually one kind of pinnacle moment where you're like, everything falls apart and you're just like completely like rock bottom. And, but yeah, something is definitely coming down the pike for you. But I believe the page is signifying new beginnings, right? And this is like, she's celebrating. She is, she's happy and she's just like having a good time. She's getting her energy out. So you may be coming into some new forms of energy soon where you're gonna make that shift away from kind of the egoic, selfish, petty, disingenuous, I'm having trouble finding this one, kind of mentality about things, and you're moving into a more mature, more kind of godlike way of being, that's really going to stand out, right? Like it's really going to help people because you are an example for, you know, just like Jesus was an example for how to be more like God, right? For how to be God-like in a human body. You know, Jesus had both the negative and positive energies within him, as all humans do, but he came in with knowledge. He came in with experience. He came in knowing who he was versus us who's coming in with that veil of forgetfulness or veil of forgetting so that we don't recognize who we are because we came here to learn. He came here to teach us, to show us, to make it easier, for it to be a way shower. And we came here to figure it out for ourselves. And so I get the sense that you're coming into your own very soon after some maybe harsh lessons. So the Page of Wands represents a childlike optimism and carefree rebellion. For Mwindu, every situation is fun by a swish of his magical fly swatter. Sorry, that's a male. He makes many enemies, but just as many friends who help him in his journey. So playfulness, charisma, discovery, a rogue, enthusiasm. So this is good. This means that like you're gonna have struggles along the way, but you're gonna also keep your wits about. You're gonna keep your sense of humor. You're gonna find ways to have fun and like, you know, kind of be able to laugh at yourself, like when you make mistakes, like you know, be able to see like, oh, okay, maybe I was being a little bit hard on them, or maybe I was being a little bit hard on myself, or you know, just really like learning from your lessons and not really judging yourself like too harshly. Like, okay, I made a mistake, but like as long as you learn from your mistakes, that's the whole point, right? Like you're not going to do everything perfect and still be happy, right? Like when we try to be perfect, we're suppressing some part of ourselves. We're not being authentic. So, you know, making mistakes is helping you to figure out what's the way for your soul to do things. Okay, so, you know, struggles are going to come up. And I think you're going to be able to, rivalry, opponents, disagreement, competition, clashing egos. Yeah, you're going to, you know, you have a strong personality, you have a strong sense of self, you have strong beliefs, and you're going to come up against people that are the same as you, but with an opposing opinion, right? Or an opposing viewpoint. And that is hard. You know, it's nice to be around people who agree with us. And it's kind of nice to be able to chat with somebody who has the same perspective and really share your ideas, but having the same common kind of belief system, right? But then when you come against people that are completely opposite, and this can really happen with politics and religion, all those kind of more sensitive topics where there's a clear kind of like right and left or dark and light or whatever, it can be difficult because you really don't see eye to eye, and it's not very harmonious or peaceful or aligned, but they can teach you a lot if you're willing to pay attention and learn. And with the queen, so we've got, she's fierce and exacting. She's a fierce and exacting force. Ternandot does not forget betrayal, so her judgments, while fair and principled, seem brutal and cold. Since she is open-minded and intelligent, she can be charming and witty when she chooses. Protection, meaningful criticism, tough love, skepticism, and intelligence. Yeah. So you definitely have like a challenging path set ahead of you, but this is a path that you chose because you wanted a lot of growth in this lifetime. You wanted your soul to really like absorb all the lessons. So you didn't go easy on yourself when you were kind of mapping out what you wanted to do in this life at all. Let's do a few more tarot just to finish things up. Okay. Go with that one. All right, what do we have here? We have the 7 of Swords, 8, 7. Not great with Roman numerals. And this is the 5 of Wands. Oh, you got 2 5 of Wands. And you got the, I think this is 9 of Wands. Yeah, so we've got some conflict, some sneaky business. Yeah, so there's definitely something that's gonna be careful, because you know there may be some bad actors, you know, coming into your life, or something that you're gonna see on some sort of content that may not be on the level, may not be truthful or authentic. You really have to be like, use that intuition and be discerning and ask questions, and really really be careful what you like, use your critical thinking. It's really important not to just take everything at face value, and to really feel into things. Does it feel right? Does it feel true? Because there's such a large amount of illusion and deception. And although, you know, obviously I said that it is a friendly universe, it is a friendly universe, but you have to kind of operate and realize that it's not going to be all that way, right? So there is the potential for deception. But as long as you are using the power that you have, you will be fine. And I look forward to doing another reading for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Your star family is definitely looking out for you. And if you liked this video, give me a like and subscribe. And if you want to turn on the notifications bell, then you will get a message when I post new videos. And if you want to share this with somebody who might be interested, that would be much appreciated. I will see you in the next video. Have a good night. Bye. Or a good day. Bye.